spot on, absolutely spot on with GameStop earnings. They just announced a Bitcoin treasury reserve asset. This is huge news for GameStop. I'm sure obviously this video is going up a little bit later than usual. Everyone's seen it, but I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff here. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. First things first, GameStop was up 16% today. Last night we said it's almost obvious, we have the writing on the wall that GameStop is going to announce a Bitcoin investment. We said it factual time and time again, video after video, that this is obvious that this is going to happen, and that is exactly what we got. Now, I also said this first range, we got a gap over, we built a base off of it, and instead of climbing to the second range that we had drawn out on the charts, you can go look at the recent videos. I didn't touch the charts at all. In fact, I just pulled it up. We built a base on top of the next one. We gapped over it, wicked into it, and are building a candle above it, above this level, above $28, and the bottom of it being at $27.40, $27.45. This shows a lot of buyers are interested in GameStop. Now, very brief rundown. Revenue, the company reported net sales of $1.28 billion, which is a 28% decrease from the previous year's $1.79 billion, falling short of analysts' expectations of $1.48 billion. Okay, so they lost a little bit on their net sales. Now, a lot of people are jumping in, FOMOing into GameStop, and big people, and we're going to talk about it. And so that was their revenue update, a decrease in revenue by 28%. Their net income, despite the revenue decline, GameStop achieved a net income of $131.3 million, up from $63.1 million in the same quarter from the prior year. So earnings per share was 29 cents per share, surpassing analyst forecasts of 8 cents per share. Also pretty huge. And then obviously their Bitcoin announcement. In a strategic move to diversify its assets, GameStop's board approved an update to its investment policy to include Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. This decision allows the company to invest a portion of its cash or future debt and equity issuances into Bitcoin with no specified maximum limit on acquisitions. GameStop joins other companies such as Strategy, Coinbase, and Tesla in integrating Bitcoin into their financial strategies. First of all, there is no limit as to how much Bitcoin GameStop can purchase. Given, right, for example, they can purchase $4.7 billion worth now of Bitcoin. There's no maximum. Secondly, their board vote on this was unanimous. All of them voted we should buy Bitcoin. We saw the pictures with MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy did comment on this. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But this is big news. Strategy, Coinbase, Tesla, all these major companies buying into Bitcoin. And I think it's just the beginning, because this is going to force big tech. It's going to force other companies to do the same thing. And we have a company that's early on, and I don't think there's a bear thesis anymore for GameStop. So say goodbye to the short sellers. Now, also, a shout out to Paul over on X. I was looking over the GameStop annual report this morning while eating breakfast, and I noticed they also just revised their insider trading policy for the first time since 2019. Now, this is very interesting because the change is that executive officers and directors of the company are now permitted to pledge up to 50% of their company securities as collateral for a loan or investment. Why is that so important? Read that again. Executive officers and directors of the company are now permitted to pledge up to 50% of their company securities as collateral for a loan or an investment. This is a Bitcoin flywheel. There is going to be more and more and more investments into Bitcoin, and that's exactly why we recently saw, remember, there will be signs, why we recently saw Ryan Cohen change his shares from his LLC into his own name. That's exactly why. Okay, so we move on with this news. Josh, man, I recently made a video on the $380 million Bitcoin short. And then I also made a recent video on the crazy Bitcoin prediction that somebody made, and it's from Josh, man, a former Wall Street trader who predicted back in November Bitcoin's price close on Pi Day, March 14th, I believe, or something along the lines of that, the exact close price. And he now comes out and he purchased GameStop. I'm going to show you his exact positions, but he said, I know myself enough to admit to this. It would drive me crazy if I managed to whittle away at my goals trading MSTR and MSTR options exclusively for 8 more months, only to see a crazy cat lover come back and run this GME thing back up to the flagpole. It is literally the definition of FOMO. I am human. If there's going to be some moonshot on GameStop, at least it will be a Bitcoin thing, so I'm in for a penny or two. So he says he's FOMOing into GameStop, but he also says GameStop could act as MicroStrategy and actually bring the momentum, more momentum than MicroStrategy because of Roaring Kitty and their Bitcoin investment. And he said that, yes, I have been trading MicroStrategy and making money on it, but I would be devastated if GameStop has more of the upside potential than MicroStrategy in this same space. And you can see right here, and these were his actual first positions. He said, I'm not proud of it, but I got to live with myself, and I just cannot let this happen without me. New trades below. GameStop, June, call options, and then Class A common stock right here, short term. This is beautiful. Okay, he bought a lot. He bought a lot of GameStop, and this was his first position. I want to go on to state that he did buy more. But first, BitPain. BitPain over on X started posting about it as well. Never underestimate the degeneracy of GameStop investors. They make crypto traders look like index fund maxing boomies. Then he said MSTR starter kit. What did he quote? He quoted, what's the minimum amount of Bitcoin GameStop needs to buy to be respected by Bitcoin miners or Bitcoiners, right? This was tweeted by Michael Saylor. What does that mean? Michael Saylor met with Ryan Cohen. Is he going to give GameStop cash it needs with an interest rate to purchase Bitcoin or something along the lines of that? Either way, you see a partnership, right? You see a partnership. And then back to the Josh Man thing, right? He says, okay, I think I am situated for now. I am 2 million today. I am in 2 million today on MSTR holdings, and I have a new GameStop position. Never thought I would type that, giving me exposure to 100,000 shares. It is crucial to note that I am writing this while experiencing significant losses. You must understand that I do not possess a predictive ticker tape with tomorrow's prices. Losses are possible if you copy trade me, yada, 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 and have some logic. He says he has some logic, but this isn't pure FOMO, all this other stuff. So he is in deep on MSTR calls as well as GameStop calls. It looks like a lot of MSTR leaps and then some GameStop leaps as well, worth about $256,000 worth. And then he has shares 587,000, and then June 20th call options worth almost 300,000. So that is huge. And then the Bitcoin therapist. Now, if you guys don't know this guy, he has 206,000 almost followers over on X. Why I am buying Bitcoin. Clear Bitcoin treasury strategy. Ryan Cohen's track record. 4 billion sitting in cash. Actually, almost 5. Die hard holder base. Signal to other companies. Potential for outsized returns. Possible rebranding and business model change / transformation. This is huge. This is FOMO kicking in at its finest. He also said, remember when I said MicroStrategy was going to be the most hated rally of all time? I was wrong. It's going to be GameStop. And that brings me to a note really quick. This guy, Ricky Gutnez, or however you pronounce it over on YouTube, he's a trader. He's a good guy. I got nothing against him. But people like this are shorting GameStop, saying it's a shit company, and they are bringing this bear thesis around like MicroStrategy. But I'm going to point out a couple of things to you really quick. I was going to save this for a little bit later. No problem with his position or the guy, whatever. He can do whatever he wants. He's a trader. That's perfectly fine. But look at MicroStrategy back in 2021. Okay, when they were accumulating a lot of Bitcoin. It played out this exact pattern and then collapsed, and then you drag it on. It played out the same exact pattern, and then right here, squoze higher into a new leg up, playing out once again, same exact pattern. And you can see right here, it almost repeats it, right? Coming up right here, before a potential super cycle up to who knows what. And I think GameStop is going to do the same thing. Now, Jim Cramer also commented, GameStop is finally doing my Bitcoin ploy. Ryan Cohen responded, no, with the laughing faces. He's trying to take credit. But where I can give credit is the Simpsons were right again. This is interesting because we saw this a while back, and I don't think it's a conspiracy because they have been right about a lot of things. But Bitcoin infinity, GameStop 1 trillion. It's a never-ending loop. Simpsons predicted it again. And then another little bit of tin for you guys. The last 3 Roaring Kitty posts were on Wednesdays, with 2 at 8 p.m. ET. If he tweets tonight, 8 p.m., he is going to break the internet. This is just a little bit of tin, a little bit of hype, a little bit of hopium, but GameStop is still up 16%. Michael Saylor tweeted, "Welcome to the team, Bitcoin," and then tagged Ryan Cohen and GameStop as well. All huge to say the least. Fidelity just bought another $83 million worth of Bitcoin. People are loading up on Bitcoin. We're still in this rising wedge. I don't have a price update for you, but we do have a lot of stuff to talk about. Still, Josh Mann posted a continuous influx of new pipeline Bitcoin buyers, and GameStop, SBR, so on and so on, is precisely the type of development that can lead to a super cycle. And this brings me into the point. I don't have price updates, but superseding prices on Bitcoin supersedes prices on GameStop, which supersedes prices on Bitcoin, with so on and 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 so on. You get what I'm saying here? A super cycle for Bitcoin means a super cycle for GameStop, in my personal opinion, so on and so on. Also, this could also lead GameStop to announce a potential dividend, which could, I've seen theories. I don't know how deep into it you want to look, but I used to look into this a while back, which could potentially crush short sellers, force them to close, expose naked shorts, so on and so on and so on. So we have all these possibilities, but the one major thing that I noticed, and you've noticed it too, I guarantee it, look at AMC, look at BlackBerry, look at these squeeze plays, right? GameStop did the unthinkable and has separated itself from AMC. I never thought you'd see the day, and I didn't assume you'd see the day. I assume you would have at least seen a little bit of sympathy because they're ran on algorithms, but something is changing. Some sort of dynamic is changing because GameStop is still up about 11% and AMC is down 1%. Some type of dynamic is changing, and that dynamic might just be as simple as AMC waiting a little bit and then following. Okay, that is okay. I just want to point that out there. It could just mean that, right? And I want to put that out there, but I just found that very interesting. I believe Chewy reports earnings tonight. Yeah, Wednesday, March 26th in 2025. I believe they report after hours, but I could be wrong on that. Maybe they already reported, but keep an eye on Chewy. Tesla, I told you, got rejected off of this trend line. We're going to talk about the SPY really quick, but I just wanted to say that the Financial Times issued an apology after suggesting that Tesla had shady accounting with $1.4 billion missing. Again, just another miswritten article, quote unquote miswritten, right? Tesla's at a crucial point where we need to see if it breaks out here. Right now, it is still holding 270. I don't see a trade yet, but we got to watch this very closely. Now, Bank of Japan to keep raising interest rates if economy inflation remains strong, according to the Bank of Japan chief. And then President Trump to announce new auto tariffs at 4 p.m. today, ET. Last but not least, SPY down 1%, 569.28. It just cracked below a key support level that we had to hold at 570. I told you there's going to be a lot of sellers around 575 to 577. And as soon as we entered that range, we started getting rejected. But it's not only that. I've given you the warning signs. Look at the volume down here. Fading volume on an up move indicates a weak move higher and likely a harsh sell-off, and that's exactly what you're getting right now. Will the harsh sell-off continue? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to know if you think that the SPY is going to continue to sell off, and if so, will Bitcoin or will GameStop follow it? Will Bitcoin follow it, right? At this point, it is dangerous. It could bring us into a more dangerous territory with Bitcoin and GameStop, because now if Bitcoin follows the market and GameStop follows Bitcoin, so on and so on and so on, it could just mean that in a market crash, GameStop doesn't do well. But again, you have to understand that this thing is still heavily shorted, and short sellers are not going to want to be in this, in my opinion. At least I wouldn't want to be in it. And what we've seen with MicroStrategy is almost a long super cycle, long Tesla short squeeze that I think we could be on the horizon with for GameStop. So all of the holders, huge win for the past 4 years. Everyone holding GameStop, huge win for you guys. Shout out to you guys. Take this as a pat on the back. Take this as a celebratory day, because your investments are paying off, in my personal opinion. That is what I got for you guys for today's video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. Check the links in the description to join my Discord server, where we talk stocks and crypto in there all day long. I'll admit I haven't been trading as much in the Discord the past week. It's been super busy with meetings because I'm getting you guys prepped to enter something that is going to be so helpful to trade, that should be coming out within a week or two. And I'll leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. Join the Discord server. We have tons of benefits. And then the second link is for a free broker. It's for Moomoo. If you sign up using my link and then deposit once they approve you, you will start earning up to 30 free stocks. Do it before March is over. It's free money. And if you owe for taxes or whatever, get these stocks and you can possibly sell them if you want. Completely up to you. I can't tell you what the buy holders sell. And then you can use that to pay off some of your taxes, so on and so on. But that is it, guys. That's free money. Check the top 2 links in the description. Very helpful for the market. And then check the third links for fundamental analysis, the #1 tool in my opinion for any stocks. They just updated the site as well. My custom indicators down here, so on and so on and so on. That is it, guys. If you want to leave a tip down here, I appreciate it so much. I appreciate you guys. Leave a message with it. Maybe I'll cover a ticker if you want to leave a tip and drop a ticker in there or whatever. But yeah, those links are in the description, guys. Love you. Peace. Lottery stocks out. God bless.